Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be going over some of the recent deck profile we have, the 60 card Red Eyes Dragon Link Bastille deck, and we're going to be going over a couple of replays. I got some neat replays, and we're going to jump right into the first one. So yeah, if you guys like this kind of stuff, like, comment, subscribe, helps out a lot. So this guy drops Fool Lost in the draw phase, and it's getting serious. But we do have the Called by the Grave, so we don't have to worry about that. We could have Maxi. This guy has 44 cards and open the Fool Loss. What can you do? But we have a pretty decent hand. We can go into the Collapse Serpent Wyver Buster stuff with the Safer, but instead we just send the Saronir to send the Branded Regain, because we can get both. Because we can put the trap face up with this Lubellion to help us dodge like Imperm, stuff like that. And then we continue on regular Dragon Link stuff. We get our Striker Dragon check mark. We get our Romulus check mark. And now it's just here's a cool little interaction. You can banish Safert, add back the Lubellion, and then send the Lubellion. Now, we hard open Monster Reborn, which is like super lit, because instead of going for rocket stuff, we can go for some Red Eyes stuff. And the Red Eyes stuff, it's a bit stronger every now and then, especially with all of the different extenders we have. But yeah, I was gonna say I think UJ here was like great, because he didn't have anything to stop anything. So we can search for the Wyvern off of the Black Metal Dragon, so we can go into Pisty plays, and then we draw, and we see some pretty decent stuff. We send everything back, and we get a little bit into the rocket stuff, because now we've got the Synchron in hand, we have the Boot Sector launch, and we're still getting our Black Metal Dragon searches, so we're doing pretty damn good. And we've got the man himself. We've got the Wyvern in the grave as kind of like a follow-up. And we don't really go for any synchros or anything. We kind of just go for seals and the full metal. So we set the max metal morph, we put the Red Eyes back in the deck, and then we send the Red Eyes fusion and we summon out Dragoon. Now, we don't have any cards in hand right now, but we do have the Magnemite search at the end phase. So we search for Absa Router, which is my favorite card to discard off of the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, because it adds another card back. So in a situation like this where I'm very low on cards, like I get a rocket back, I get to search for a rocket, so whatever I draw for a turn I can keep, or I can discard that and then keep the rocket. So it's a very, very, very neat trade. You can also search for this guy. No, not this guy. You can search for the other rocket. I forgot his name, but we do play him. He'll come eventually. The one that when a card's destroyed, you can send him summon something back. So if Dragoon or Verte gets destroyed, we can summon something back and have an extra disruption. So we've got like a super, super, super ton of disruption, but he's got a pretty resilient hand. He's opened the Fiendsmith stuff, which we've stopped. He opened some of the Rescue Ace stuff, some of the good Rescue Ace stuff. But we've got a ton of stuff, so we're gonna fight against that to the best of our degree. So I instantly want to bounce this Hydrant, because it's just a pain in the ass. And he chains one of these quick plays, and I just get rid of it, and we get a neat little burn, and we're in a really, really good spot. And like there's just not much you can do. There's just an incredible amount of setup here. And like while we're building up the board, it didn't actually look like much. But during our opponent's turn, we just kind of like explode with all of these cards on the field. All of these like boss monsters, disruptions and stuff. It's very, very cool, very, very neat. And we had so much follow-up, the Magnemite search and all that. It was great. Alright, now we're in the second replay, and what we have here is a even more phenomenal hand. So we want a Drake connection, send the Rocket Synchron, add Black Metal Dragon, put the Rocket Synchron back. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. So we can just continue on with Seifert. And we play Seifert at 1, but things seem to really work out when we see him. So we Seifert into the Collapse Serpent, into the Striker Dragon, and we just continue on pretty standard, typical combos. We technically could have also summoned the Striker Dragon and special Apps Router and comboed like that a little bit, but this just gives you much more advantage. He imperms on the Romulus, which sucks, but we have the Apps Router in hand. As long as we can find a way to get rid of it, then that doesn't really matter. Something I realized while playing this deck a little bit more is that when you open the Seifert, you want the second Collapse Serpent in deck. So I think instead of 2-1, I think I'm going to run 2-2. So we go for a 3 material Saryuja, which, like, you know, it seems really strange, but the zone you get for it is just really good. Like, if you want, you could also like change this out for an Appaloosa. Like, this could be an Appaloosa, and you could be doing all this under her arrows. But I just like having the Skull Saryuja, because there's so many Garnets in the deck that we can at any point just kind of like move things around a bit, assuming we haven't used the Rocket Tracer effect. So he Magnamuts our target, which really does suck. It messes up everything. But we summon out the Dragoon. We pop his Magnamut. He searches for a Druid Swarm, which is kind of like, eh. He summons it, and it's kind of like whatever. We're not really worried about a Druid Swarm. The only thing we have that's like of any use is like Dragoon. So, like, you know, we did our best, kind of like with the situation we were in. It was a little strange. What can you do? Especially through, like, you know, Ash and Perm. It was really hurt, really sucked. But we realize he's playing Blue Eyes with the Sage, and I'm like, you know, popping that Sage, negating and popping that Sage is like a great disruption, because you can't link it off, and it's like there's no follow-up surge, no maiden surge. But he hard opened a second Sage that he sends the Druid Swarm away with, which is like, man, you gotta be kidding me. Like, that's just like a phenomenal hand. And then the last card is the Kaiser Seahorse, which is like literally everything worked out. Like, his hand was just way too strong to compete with. And so he's continuing on for Blue Eyes combos, and I'm like, well, my Red Eyes is 4,300. Like, you know, he goes into this guy, and I'm like, well, I'm not really worried if he summons a Stardust Saphir, if he summons the Cosmic Blazer. Like, I can tackle over any of those. I can activate my effect. He can't destroy my Dragoon, and I'm like, I'm perfectly fine. Like, I'm like, no matter what he does, I'm actually like really solid. He summons this guy, and I'm like, all right, this guy might be a little tricky to deal with. So he Crimson Dragon targets this guy, summons a 12, and it's Red Supernova Dragon. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like who the hell plays this? And he misses game because if he never sent that Saryuja, he could have summoned this to the zone it points to and then attacked for like exactly game. Because I was at 6,000. And so yeah, we're in this pretty shitty situation. So here's what I thought would happen. So I thought I would Little Knight target this, and then he would chain this, and then I would chain Little Knight, and then I would have no cards to banish. Right? Like, it sounds like it makes sense, but it's not really what happens. We'll see it later on. So these guys come back, and we don't have really any follow up. We didn't see any of the we didn't keep any of the Bestial. We didn't see any Bestials, so we don't have any grind games. We don't have any Bestials, and we didn't see enough of the Red Eye stuff to have like a huge impact on the board, or to have any of the Red Eyes follow up. So this guy comes back, which I didn't think would happen, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm staring down a whole banish and a negate. Like, there's literally nothing I can do. So we top deck Insight, which isn't really doing much of anything at all. Like, at most it can help us stall, but there's not much stalling we can do. There is no Typhon in this deck. Typhon's just we just don't have the space. There's too much. Like we could cut something like Baron. Like I actually hardly ever summon Baron, but he's good in some strange grind games that you can get yourself into. So yeah, we try and fight it out. We try and stall out. Try and see what we can get. If we can get to something decent, and as much as we try to do so, yeah, they don't let anything happen. The ideal way was to go into a disbatter, summon something back, and then try and live life from there. But unfortunately, it's not what happens. I thought it was a pretty decent uphill battle. I thought it was a pretty interesting replay. It was a little goofy. So we can't win them all, but we can enjoy ourselves. That was an enjoying duel. The supernova came out of nowhere, but we get max seed in the standby phase, which is like, man, like that sucks. Like, this is a great hand. I don't know why like all of these replays have safe red. I never realized that, but like yeah, things are good when safe red pulls up, I guess. So we go for the Magamut anyways through the max C, and we go for the Lubellion through the max C anyways. We give him quite an insane hand. We give him 7 cards in hand, but we have a Branded Beast, we have a Regained for the grind game, we have Magnamut Engrave, and we search for a Boldrake. And instantly I'm like, alright, well he's playing Yubel. I have to beast on the Nightmare Pain, because it's just way too strong. It gets him way too much going. It's way too much momentum. So he actually shuffles back 2 bricks from the hand, and I like to believe that those 2 maxi draws were those 2 Yubel bricks. He goes into Phantom of Yubel, and I'm like, alright, well we can instantly get rid of the Phantom of Yubel because we need it gone for our Baldrake to be doing stuff. And at this point, I'm like, alright, well he has 2 guys in grave. He's pretty low on resources and stuff, so we've got to clear out one of these guys so that he can't go into another spirit, their Phantom, and then link off and then just continue off going crazy. So I banish one of them, shuffle it back, draw a card. Quick launch is really good. This guy destroys everything during the end phase. Literally doesn't matter. He sets an Unchained trap, doesn't have an Unchained on the field. Literally doesn't matter. No Magnamut search because he negated it, but this hand is insane. We've got insane setup. We have both branded continuous up on the field. We have like so much search power, but he drops an Ash Blossom, and I'm like, all right, well this game isn't quite over yet, because even though he's got a useless card on the field, Yubel, we still have to out this Terror Incarnate, and he's still got a card in hand. So if he's in here, even though Dragon Link has so much setup, like he's got something good. It could be a nib, could be something insane, but like this hand is just so it's so bonkers that I don't even think it matters. So we go into Saryuja, Chainlink 1, draw 4, put 3 back, Chainlink 2, add Wyver Buster, and then Chainlink 3, Nibiru. And I'm like, well, that sucks because he takes away my zones from the Saryuja, so I can't black metal. But then I was like, well, he outed the Terra Incarnate for me, so we go from 4 in hand to 5 in hand, then we summon back Magnamut, and then we actually get the Metamorph combo in our hand. But he scoops it up. There's nothing much he can do. It's way too much going on. Alright, and now for our last replay, we've got an absolutely insane hand. Like there's no There's obviously no reason to trade connection because we drew our starter, our best starter, I should say. We have many starters, but not only did we draw that, we actually drew Absa Router, which is what we send off of the Dragon's Ravine. So it's going to become our discard for the Dragon's Ravine, meaning we can send anything we want off the Dragon's Ravine, which is just beautiful. We can send Lubellion / Saronir, and then Lubellion. We could send Tempest. There's so many things. So I had the foresight, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna send Tempest. I love having a Dragon Ruler in Grave. Obviously, it's not anywhere near as good as the grind game of the Bystials, but having the Tempest in Grave, man, it's just like it adds so much. Like every single turn, you're banishing whatever you want to bring back from the Disbatter, and it's just a free body every single turn. Really, really solid. Really, really solid. If something happens during the combo, he's just basically a free extender. There's so many dragons in Grave that are never coming back that we're seeing once in the whole duel, and he's just a great guy. So we continue comboing on with our pretty standard combo, and we've got a Disbatter set up, and then we're on the way to setting up our Borland. And Borland's setting up. Now, right there, we could have gone into a Borload Savage, but I was like, you know what? We have the Fangwith Chain. We might as well go into Dragoon, because if they have like Droplets or Dark Ruler, then we can Fangwith Chain with the Dragoon still. So that's pretty neat. And then we send our Full Metal, and we summon out the Tempest. And here's where his use really, really comes in. He's actually a 5 or higher dragon that we contribute for the max Metamorph. So that's great. This guy starts out with an Upstart, and I'm like, what is going on? And then he starts out with an Ultimate Slayer. And I was like, alright, well, this batter's gone. And this guy, he can only target, he can't target these two, and there's no point to even target Verte. So he targets the Tempest, which I'm like, alright, well, I'm just going to chain, get this guy. And then he has a Lightning Storm, and I'm like, well, I might as well drop this now. But we had like an insane back row for what was going on, because Fangwood Chain also works with this guy. We can just take a monster, and then he has a Raigeki, which these two again can't be destroyed. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just use the Full Metal. If he stops the Full Metal, he was gonna get destroyed anyway. If not, he wastes a card. Raigeki's basically just takes out the Verte. And he drops a Change of Heart, and I'm like, well, I don't really want to lose my Borland, so I guess I have to negate this. I was really holding a negate for Engage, but he drew all spells. Instead of drawing 2, he takes control, attacks, and it's basically game. There's nothing else he can really do. He tries to get rid of those monsters with a Little Knight. He targets Tempest here, which is like I get it, like he's probably scared of the Tempest coming back next turn. The issue is that like I have like 2, maybe 3. I think 2 for sure. 2 for sure targets of Wind Dragons to search. And I was like, well, I can let that slide and get it, but then I was like, I can just summon back Tempest next turn and negate this with the Borland. You can't respond, there's nothing you can do. And he sees that happen and he goes, yeah, there's nothing you can do. What he should have done is probably go for like he didn't play. I checked it later. He doesn't play a Typhon because he's playing 10 by Sky Strikers. But like you're playing a Little Knight. Like if you're Little Knight, you're not gonna OTK. Same thing with Typhon. Typhon, you're not gonna OTK. But it would have been a decent tool to have, because right there you could have went, okay, Little Knight, banish that, or attempt to banish that, and then I stop it, and then he goes Typhon, bounce, and then I'm like, all right, well, all of my boss monsters are in Grave. Now I have to work with a Rocket on the field, my top deck, and a Tempest. And then I would have been in a weird spot. Not a bad spot, but it would have been in a weird spot. And I still would have had to get through the Typhon. That would have been much better, but, he didn't play it. Alright, and this is the final look at the list, just in case you wanted to see it again. This is 60 cards. There's some changes, like, as I was playing it more and more. You know, this is like early in the season, so like the diamond crowd and early in the season is like basically the master crowd later in the season, you know. So it like this Monster Reborn, like, it was great whenever I saw it, but I never was dying to see it. Like, if I saw it with like a bad hand, I would just be like, all right, well, this might help pull me out the mud a little bit, but it was really only good. It's really only useful when there's like such a crazy hand, like for an extra black metal summon and search and stuff like that, or an extra summon of Rocket Tracer for an extra synchro summon or something. Like little things like that. It was like pretty sick. But other than that, I was like thinking about cutting this, putting in a second Collapse Serpent. That is for sure, definite, 1000% should be done. Especially since we have the Spirit with the Eyes of Blue tech for a guaranteed Light Engrave Wowie combo. Like he's so easy to set up for. Like, this is even easier to set up for. Like, we set up for Wyvern Buster by accident. We put a Dark Engrave by sneezing. Like, there's so many Darks engraved, like I can't even count them. If you had Dark Arm Dragon in this deck, you would never be able to summon them. That's so many Darks are engraved. And then but the lights are a little trickier because we only have like the Wyvern Buster itself. We only have the Lubellion, which we don't want to banish, and then Herratic Seals. And if Herratic Seals is in the graveyard turn 1, something's not going right. So yeah, so definitely 2 of these guys, especially starting with the Seifert. You just get an extra card to discard with. It's just it just seems a lot better. And then playing a little bit more hand traps. I thought playing the 3 Mourners, 3 Ash, and then 1 of every Bestial, I thought that would be pretty neat. But I found myself just needing some more. I just never really drew into them. Drew into the hand traps off of the Branded Regained, or the Chaos Space, things of that nature. And I was like, you know, I should probably bump it up. So probably playing like 3 Ghost Ogres seems really good. Currently in the Master Duel atmosphere, 3 Ghost Ogres hits Deception of the Sinful Spoils. It hits the Yubel continuous spells. It hits the Millennium continuous spells. It just hits a lot of things. It hits a couple of field spells, Centurions, all that nonsense. It just seems really good on the Red Eyes traps. Whenever I drew them, I was like, oh cool, nice. If I had, but I never actually searched for them. Like I never have the searches for them. I think these we can actually cut for good now. Like I think we just have so many good monster targets that I think the Red Eyes back row is like yeah, it's slow because they're all traps, but they're good traps. Don't get me wrong. But I think we just have so many good monsters. Like we're just like we just build a stronger board rather than search for this stuff. And then I don't know why, but every time I do get these traps, they always have like they always have some random like Harpy's Feather Duster, and it's like, bro, like I have like a thing with chain set. Like why did you open that? Like I don't even like you do that often. But I think these can be cut for some more hand traps. I think this whole little Red Eye spell trap package, because like we have several targets of Red Eyes cards to search for. We have the Metal Claws Dragon, we have the Full Metal, the Darkest Metal, the Meteor, the Wyvern. And I think all of those are just so infinitely better than these traps because they help extend, they help put bosses on the field. So, but if you do really like the Red Eyes aspect, like I'd probably still play them just because I just love like Red Eyes is one of my favorite decks. So I love using these cards for different kinds of goofy stuff. Because they are useful. They're just not like as impactful. Or at least they've never come up as impactful, you know. I guess in certain grind games and stuff like that, matchups. Branded Beast. Like sometimes you see this card and it's like the worst thing ever. Because sometimes you don't see any Bestials sometimes. And you just open this and like you have to have a Bestial for this. The regain, like, you don't need a Bistio for that. It helps to have a Bistio with it. It becomes like 5 times better, but the best part of it is the draw. So getting the draw is so much better than summoning out the Bistio sometimes. Like in the grind game, they're both like just phenomenal. But you don't need a Bistio for this card to be good. You need a Bistio for Branded Beast to be good, to be usable, to even like have any like semblance. But we do need it in Master Duel. Like I would cut this if I was playing in TCG. I would cut this. I wouldn't even play this. I really don't actually like this card that much. The issue is that you see a lot of dumb stuff on Master Duel that you kind of need, like a spell trap pop. Yeah, like a spell trap pop that you can search for. Because there's some things like, if something doesn't care about monsters, like we only have monster like removal. So yeah, that's a little. I never saw this card. I absolutely, man, this card with Black Metal Dragon is just like, it's like bonkers. Like the board you end on is just absolutely like, you summon like everybody, you summon the whole thing. But yeah, that's basically, the deck. It's a nice little. I feel like this video covered like a lot of different aspects of what you do through certain hand traps, different play styles that you can play the deck in. I actually had a game. I didn't save it because it was just like, it was mind-bogglingly horrible. But I guess for the sake of novelty, I should have put it because of how like insane my hand was. I ended on Dragoon, Boarload Savage, Disbatter, and Borland. I ended on and the Full Metal. I ended on all 5 of them. That's like 5 disruptions. And the guy opened like Super Poly Triple Tack, and I was like, bro, what the hell is this? And then full Tier Limit combo. It's always them. But yeah, if you guys learned something, if you guys like the deck, thank you so much for watching. Really consider leaving a comment, leaving a like, dropping a subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me, and it makes it really, really fun and enjoyable knowing that you guys like these decks. And if you have any input, let me know. Like, there's so many dragons that I'm not like completely familiar with. Like, I'm not really familiar with the Dragon Maids or the Dragon Lord, not the Dragon Lord, the Light and Darkness Dragon, and that like the level 8 dragons that like go into it. I'm not really that familiar with them. So if you guys know anything about those, like a little list to play with them, try them out, let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.